Welcome to our monthly book review. Today we're talking about Tim Ferris's The 4-Hour Work Week. Just creating a quick thumbnail. Just gonna put it here so you can see it. Isn't that beautiful? So as with last month's book review where we talked about getting things done from David Allen, I'm gonna start with the most important things that I learned from this book over here. And this is something that I already heard a lot of times even before reading this book. I'm talking about the 80-20 rule or the Pareto principle. Now this suggests that 20% of all that you're doing is responsible for 80% of your desired outcome. And also there's Parkinson's law, which says that the more time you plan for doing something, the longer it will take you to complete this task. And if you're setting yourself a shorter amount of time to complete a task, then you will do it in a shorter amount of time. Which is true if you just think about, like, for example, a presentation in school. If you have 3 months to complete a presentation, you will take up to 3 months. But if you're starting the night before, then you will get it done by tomorrow because you're more focused and productive. And I can even give you a recent example of this. I give myself 1 month to read these books because if you don't know, I challenged myself to read 1 book for every month of this year. And I got to like page 150, and this book has like 350 pages by almost the end of the month. And then I finished the last 200 pages yesterday. And now I'm gonna record the video, edit it and upload it because I have to upload it today to fit into my uploading plan. So as you can see, I had 1 month and I took the entire month, and then I just had 1 day and I finished it in 1 day because I had just this time and I focused on reading it for an entire day. So I could finish it in 1 day. This is a perfect example for Parkinson's law. So maybe I should set myself just 2 weeks to finish the next book, so I have it done by the middle of next month, so I'm not just, doing it the night before because it's not that good. So the first thing is that the so-called new rich abandon the deferred life plan and create luxury lifestyle using time and mobility. Because people don't necessarily want to be millionaires, but they want to experience what they think only millions can buy. So the question is how to achieve the millionaire lifestyle without first having $1 million. First, you get a step-by-step process to reinvent yourself, and this is called DEAL, and each letter stands for something that you have to do. So it's DEAL, and the D is for definition. I have some little notes here, just in case you're wondering why I'm always looking off to the side. My monitor is right here, and I have just some notes that I'm not getting lost, because this book had a lot of content in it. So the D is for definition. It explains the lifestyle, design, recipes, and fundamentals. So E is for elimination. It kills the obsolete notion of time management, and this does actually not comply with getting things done, because getting things done is all about productivity and how you can achieve everything that you want to achieve. And this book is actually about elimination and what you don't have to do. So productivity is not defined by how much you can do in a short amount of time, but by doing the actually important stuff and cutting the not important stuff out. Because it's not productivity in being productive, but in just filling time. How to increase per hour results 10 times by cultivating selective ignorance, developing a low information diet, and basically ignoring the unimportant. This provides you with the first luxury lifestyle ingredient, which is time. A is for automation, and this puts cash flow on autopilot by mainly using outsourcing and the rules of non-decision. That gives you the second ingredient to your new lifestyle, which is income. L is for liberation, and this explains how you can break out of your job by working from home and then from basically everywhere, and then giving you the third and last ingredient for your new luxury lifestyle, which is mobility and to go everywhere that you want. The next very interesting viewpoint is that if you can free your time and location, your money is automatically worth 10 times more. Of course, because what to do with $10 million if you don't have the time to spend it and enjoy your life? But if you, for example, have just $100,000 but the ability to go everywhere you want and have enough time to spend it with your family and loved ones, then you're gonna be a lot more happier. This is called the relative income, which is more important than the absolute income, and relative income is also the measurement of real wealth for the new rich. Tim Ferris talks about how retirement is the worst case scenario insurance, and that you don't want to work all your life and then go into retirement when you're old and not able to enjoy life by, for example, traveling, but instead have a lot of mini retirements spaced out over every year. One more great thing I learned from this book is to ask for forgiveness and not for permission. Just try something and then justify it, because it's easier to ask for forgiveness afterwards than to ask for permission before you do something, because then it's a lot easier for the person you're asking to just say no. And if you're just doing what you want and then ask for forgiveness, it will be a lot easier to achieve what you want. It's definitely not something you want to do all the time, but a great tip to take into consideration. And he also talks about distress and eustress. Distress is bad, but eustress actually lets you work better, so you should have a lot of eustress. The next chapter is about fear. You should define your fear and really think about what's actually the worst thing that could happen and what would you have to do to recover from it. This shows you that almost everything can't really turn out that bad, and there's always a way to fix almost everything. Chapter 4 is about being unreasonable and aim for the thing that seems hard to get. It quotes that 99% of people are convinced that they are incapable of achieving things, so they aim for the mediocre, which means that the competition is high. So that means it should actually be easier to achieve the unreasonable. You should ask yourself, what would you do if there was no way you could fail? Then you should create 2 timelines, one for 6 months in advance and one for 12 months. And list up to 5 things of what you dream of having, being and doing in that order. In the chapters Low Information Diet, Cultivating Selective Ignorance, and Interrupting Interruption, the Art of Refusal, he talks about how to eliminate unimportant information and the constant interruption of people who want something from you that they actually could figure out by themselves. An interruption is everything that prevents the start to finish completion of a critical task. Some tips are that you should limit email consumption and production, never check mail first thing in the morning, and give clear and easy to understand answers so you won't have a constant back and forth email discussion. Those are the worst. Really. He gives some tips on how to answer the phone and also talk to people in real life to get them to the point of what they want and eliminate chit chat. Sounds pretty harsh, but actually great tips. In the next chapter he talks a lot about getting a virtual assistant that handles almost everything for you and how you can actually also limit the contact with them, with your VAs, by giving them a lot of freedom in how to actually come to resolutions with, for example, customers. Also he goes over how to delegate your virtual assistant so they know what you want them to do and also have not a lot of questions which would bother you again, and then what's the point of having a VA, but how to delegate them so they know what you want them to do. In the following chapters, the Income Autopilot, he talks about how to create an automated vehicle for generating cash without consuming time. How to create something to sell, a product, real or digital, a service, which you don't have to do yourself, a license or whatever. Test the market if people actually want to buy the stuff you're trying to sell. How to get it up and running and how to remove yourself from the business so that you're just the business owner receiving the cash and have to, of course, do some maintenance here and there, but just like, for example, 4 hours a week, but so that it doesn't require you as a person but can run by itself or with the people you employed. This is really detailed, and he's not just going over what to do exactly, but he also recommends the exact services which you should use or how to get to the contacts that you need to get. This is very detailed, so I think there's no point in highlighting it more in this video because I couldn't possibly summarize it. So if you really want more details about that, I suggest you have to read the book for yourself because I, again, can't possibly summarize it in this video. In chapter 12 you're getting more infos about how to escape the office. How to start with a small remote work agreement of just 1 to 2 days per week and then building it up to just working from home. This is actually great because he's not just talking about how to do it, but he actually gives you the exact sentences and phrases that you could use in the talk with your boss. Now after that you actually have a whole chapter with traveling tips, from getting the cheapest flights by booking way in advance, using credit card reward points, and actually packing your luggage. Everything's there. Chapter 15 is about filling the void. What to do after you're part of the new rich, traveling the world, and you're getting bored. This is a problem that I wish to have, and of course also overcome. I don't mean that in a sarcastic way, but of course first to have in the very near future and then to overcome it. Then you get some great tips on meaning of life stuff, but in a very good approach, I think. I can't explain it, but if you're rolling your eyes right now, it's not like that, because then I wouldn't actually enjoy it myself, but it's very good. Then we have 3 more chapters, which are called the Top 30 New Rich Mistakes, the 6 Basic Rules of Choice Minimal Lifestyle, and the Not To-Do List 9 Habits to Stop Now, which basically are a summary of the book and everything that you learned in the past chapters. So it's a good revision that you actually can read every now and then to refresh the content of the book. And that sadly is everything that we got time for today. It's a great book, I can heavily recommend it. It's very packed full with information that I couldn't possibly cover in like a 2-hour video. So I'd recommend that you give it a try and read it yourself. There's a link to the book down in the description. You can watch the video about getting things done right here. You can watch a video about Rich Dad, Poor Dad right here. You can subscribe right here. And if you want to see me flex with some books, you can watch my latest music video right here, where I basically flexed with my knowledge and education. Oof. Anyways, goodbye.